afternoon, guys. I'm Deputy Ben Russell. This is my partner, Lopez. We're from LA County Sheriff's Department, Lomita Station. So we cover the cities of Lomita, Rancho Palos Verdes, Rolling Hills, and Rolling Hills Estates, as well as various unincorporated areas near here. We're here today just to talk about general safety tips, some crime trends in your guys' neighborhood. It's a very safe area here, very lucky to live here. The only things I would mention is that catalytic converter theft is a problem nationwide. There are a lot of catalytic converter thefts, so the vehicles they do target are Toyota Priuses, especially mid-2000s. Toyota Priuses, any pickup truck because it's easy to get underneath, and then I believe Honda Pilots as well. So unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that you can do to prevent a catalytic converter theft, but what you can do, maybe if you have a different car, you can park on the street and park that Toyota Prius or whatever car inside your garage. And I know in Southern California, people don't like parking inside their garage, but it does keep your car safe. And then another thing we do offer at the Sheriff's Station is we do catalytic converter etching events. So this isn't going to keep your catalytic converter from being stolen, but if we do, say we stop a car and there's 4 catalytic converters in the back seat, it's really hard for us to link that to a specific crime. You know, we can say, oh, it's stolen from Darlene's car. It's really hard to link the catalytic converters, but if they're serialized, then it's traceable. So we can say, oh, that was stolen in this state from this car, and then we can arrest them for being in possession of that. You just keep an eye on our social media pages. We have a Facebook page and an Instagram page, so you can just keep an eye on that. We post when we do those events, and if you live anywhere in the cities that we cover, you're welcome to attend. Vehicle burglaries as well. Make sure you lock your car, because there are people that go along, they'll check door handles, just looking for anything in the car. Also, they will smash windows if they see something valuable, so don't leave your purse in the car. Don't leave sunglasses in the car. Expensive sunglasses, they'll smash a window for that. Even bags, even if they're empty, they're looking for anything that could potentially have value. So especially like if you park on the street or in your driveway, check your car, make sure there's nothing that's in sight that may be tempting for a criminal to steal. And then also residential burglaries are another problem around here. If you are going on vacation, call our sheriff's station and we'll do what's called vacation checks. So we'll drive by your house and kind of check it out, make sure everything's good while you're on vacation. Because what a lot of these criminals will do is they'll drive through the neighborhoods, they got time to case. So they'll watch for the houses where the lights are always off, there's no movement, there's no cars in the driveway. And those are the houses they're gonna target because they want an easy target as opposed to a house or someone's home. And now I'm not saying that they're not gonna hit the house where someone is home, but that's what they look for. So if you do go on vacation, let your neighbors know so they can keep an eye out. Put your lights on timers, and then also surveillance systems. Especially now, there's so many companies, they make these doorbells that have like a video camera. So if there's any motion or anyone rings your bell, it'll pop up on your phone, even if you're halfway across the world, which is pretty amazing. We've actually caught a couple burglars that way, where someone sees on the Ring camera, hey, I don't recognize these people, looks like they're trying to break into my house. They call us, we go out there, we catch them in the act. That's the advantage of the internet connected surveillance systems as opposed to the old school where you got cameras. We'll be able to use those camera footage from that, but it's not immediate. So that's why I like to recommend the internet connected ones. And they also make ones that you can put around your house too, not just doorbells.
Mail theft?
Oh yeah, mail theft. Just don't leave your mail in the mailbox like for a week. Try and go out there every day and take your mail out, because they do go through there, they look for checks, credit cards that get sent to your house. They'll use that to try and steal your money.
Do check your Experian accounts if you do have one, just to make sure that there's nothing, out of the ordinary. Check your bank accounts, make sure that you guys, whatever transaction you're making, that's yours and no one else's. And if not, just be aware, there's a lot of identity theft going around too. Scammers calling us, calling us included too, because everyone gets those phone calls. Just make sure, not to give out the information that you shouldn't be giving out. If they're saying, oh yeah, we're calling from Chase Bank, but unfortunately, do not give out information. Call Chase, go to Chase, make sure like, hey, Chase is, I got a call from Chase saying that they want to charge me $300 for this transaction that I made, but I didn't make it. And they're telling me that if I don't pay, they're going to charge me more. So they'll tell you like, no, that's not us.
Yeah.
So just be aware of those type of scams. If someone's calling you, hey, we need you to pay $500. Your godson, your granddaughter, your nephew, they're in custody, and if you don't pay, they're gonna stay in jail. Well, how do you want us to pay? Go to the store and go get gift cards. Like if they're asking you for gift cards, just know it's a scam. Just be aware of that. It's happening. There are a lot of victims that unfortunately have fallen for that trap. So just be aware.
For family activities that are a blast, nothing beats radio control action. Bring in the family and check out the latest RC models from top brands. We've got cars, boats, planes, helis, and more for beginners and experts. You can't beat scorching the track, making waves, or tearing up the skies with cool RC models. It's a great way to bring the family together and start a hobby that will last a lifetime. Stop in today.
Pacific Coast Hobbies on PCH, South Bay's best hobby shop.
They're very good at what they do. It's called social engineering, and I don't know if you saw in the news, Uber just got hacked, and that was actually through social engineering. They sent a phishing email, or they called someone, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm supposed to have access to this, and it's okay, and they give them access, even though they're not supposed to have it. You just gotta be wary of these people that cold call you. Like, the IRS is not gonna call you, the FBI is not gonna call you, we're not gonna call you unless it's something emergent. And even then, if if it's someone that's saying they're a deputy, you can always say, hey, I'm gonna call the sheriff's station to make sure, and you can call the sheriff's station and we'll tell you if it's legit or not.
They've gotten so good at scamming that you'll see your phone and it'll come out to like Long Beach courthouse, and they'll say like, hey, there's a warrant for your arrest. If you don't pay up, we're gonna come and arrest you, which does not happen. But you will see on your caller ID, it will say Long Beach courthouse, and it will be a legitimate number, and they'll throw out some random name. It could be a deputy's name, bailiff, anyone. They'll be like, yeah, this is me from Long Beach courthouse. There's a warrant for your arrest. You need to pay up right now with your credit card information and whatnot. So just be aware.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. And unfortunately, at the time you get stressed, you're like, oh my God, like there's a warrant for my arrest. let me just pay this, when you don't even think about like, well, why would I even have a warrant, you know? Why would this even be happening to me? So just relax, take a breather, and, you know, make sure you don't give them any information that you shouldn't be giving them.
Yeah, I've gotten scam calls where it says 911 as the caller ID before. So they're able to spoof any number that they want.
Same thing with emails. Double check those emails. They can be portraying someone else, but unless you see that email, it could be like, you know, johnsmith@abc.com. And you'll be like, well, what? It's not even a good email, or 123. You never know, like double check. They can impersonate anyone.
Or any company.
Yeah.
So if you get an email from Chase that said, hey, there's, you know, we noticed this charge on your account, or there's a problem with your account, click here to fix it. And it looks like they got the Chase logo, got everything, you know, and if you look, it might even say Chase Bank, but if maybe the email's actually, it's, you know, chasebank1234.net or whatever, like that's probably not legit. But if you do end up getting any emails like that, you know, from Amazon, Chase, any of your banks, go to their website directly or call them.
A friend.
Yeah, or a friend.
Anyone.
What makes Genius Coconut Smoothie so unique is we incorporate the entire coconut, the coconut water and the coconut meat. True to nature, we don't leave anything out. And the coconut water provides electrolytes and potassium and hydration. The coconut meat offers the meal replacement value, the protein, the fiber, the omega-3s, and good fats. So you're getting the best of both worlds. I really was on a mission to create something that the world has never seen before. We went all the way out to Thailand, as close to the source as possible, working with local farmers to find the best and most nutritionally dense coconuts in the world. And we didn't want to settle for less. There's so many different coconuts and varieties out there, and we did our research for a very long time. And we found that the Thai Nam Hom coconut is considered one of the best tasting, most nutritionally packed coconuts in the world. One thing that I learned when traveling to Thailand is that the coconut trees take up to 25 years to grow before anyone can start harvesting coconuts. That is absolutely amazing and takes an incredible amount of patience from the farmers to harvest the right coconut. And we love that with our Genius Coconut Smoothie that we can support the local ecosystem here and really support the local farmers. We have a zero waste philosophy with our Genius Coconut Smoothies. And I'll tell you why. We use the entire coconut, which makes us so different from any other company out there that has a coconut beverage. And they are harvested at their peak in taste and nutrition. We blend the coconut water and the meat together, and it makes for this creamy, delicious, filling coconut smoothie. There's a lot of companies that use coconut concentrates, or they use some byproduct of the coconut. I felt incredibly compelled to create something more. There's plenty of coconut waters out there. There's plenty of probiotic drinks, plenty of smoothies, plenty of almond milk drinks. But really no company has ever come out with a drink that uses the entire coconut. It's tasty, it's healthy, it's filling, and we use real coconut water and real coconut meat. And I wanted to bring something to the world that no one has ever seen before. And that's why it's called Genius, because we created the world's first coconut smoothie.
anyone have any questions?
The one, I've received a bunch of Norton antivirus
Oh.
emails
Yeah.
where they say, hey, congratulations, you have renewed your subscription. I was like, no, I haven't, because I've never paid you anything, I don't
Yeah.
have it.
So
I just delete them, ignore them.
So for like those antivirus companies, with newer computers, especially if you have a Mac and even newer Windows, they come with antivirus built in. You don't really need to buy separate antivirus for your computer. Yeah, so, and if you keep getting all these weird scam emails from all these random companies that say, oh, your computer is gonna get locked up if this happens, then, you know, just delete them. It's marketing. They're trying to get you to scare you into buying their software. So again, not technically illegal, but again, that's a good thing to point out that there are companies that are out there kind of using scare tactics to have you buy their products.
And not a question, but another comment. I don't know if this was reported to you guys, but I saw next door that somebody came up to the guy and told him, asked if he had change. The guy went to get the change and he got, like, you know, they took all his money.
Yeah. What I would recommend is that, and so the question was, someone asks you for change, you grab your wallet, and they just take all your money. Yeah, I know everyone likes to help people. You're compassionate, right? You see these people hurting outside, asking for money. You want to give them something, right? What I'd recommend is don't give them anything, because that just encourages them to stay there. And unfortunately, most of the people on the street are either mentally ill, addicted to drugs, or both. And it is true that a lot of them are mentally unstable. So if you do take out your wallet and they see a fat stack of hundreds, they're gonna wanna go for that. And I'm not saying that there's people out there that genuinely need help, but there are a lot of programs out there that we try and hook them up with that provide free meals. And if you do feel like they are really hurting, you can always buy them food or water. Don't necessarily just give them money, because you don't know what they're gonna use the money for. And it could make yourself a target. There are things called card skimmers. So there are a lot of them at gas stations, anywhere where there's a point of sale.
The card reader?
Yeah, the card reader.
Where you insert your debit card, credit
Yeah,
card.
they 3D print these really realistic molds that go on top of them, and there's these little trackers inside of them. So when you swipe your card, not only is it swiping legitimately to, you know, whatever you're purchasing, it's keeping a record of your swipe also for, you know, nefarious purposes. So now they got your credit card number. They can create their own credit card based on the swipe that you made. That basically, to the computer, it looks exactly the same. If anything looks weird, like it looks a little bit bulkier than it normally does, you can kind of tug on it a little bit. The faceplate's not supposed to come off, so if it comes off, you know, that's probably a good indication that it's fake. Other questions?
Regarding the Cadillac converters, because we have one taken from our van. So we're in Torrance. So can we go anywhere to get that engraved, or do we have to go within the city?
So I don't know if Torrance has those events. Usually we partner with Van Lingen, and I know Torrance also contracts with Van Lingen. But yeah, you'd have to go to whatever city that you live in. And I'm sure you could always pay a shop to do it as well. It's something that we offer every once in a while. But they do also make catalytic converter shields that you can buy. I would try and do your research on them before you spend a bunch of money on them, because some are better than others. But basically, the way people steal catalytic converters is it's right underneath your car. It's part of the exhaust system. And they'll come in with just a Sawzall, and they'll cut one end, they'll cut the other end, 30 seconds, they're gone. That's how easy it is. What they do with these shields is they'll weld a bunch of metal around it so that it makes it way harder to cut, basically. But I mean, I would really only do that if, like you said, you already got yours stolen. You know, if you're worried about that happening, that's always something you could explore, but it is pricey.
Something that was stolen up in Koreatown and get it towed a truck, pickup truck.
Yeah.
He went ahead and bought an aftermarket shield, and he actually put it on himself. It was actually pretty easy.
Okay, yeah, so
Fit to the full pattern on his chassis, and he was able to screw it in himself.
okay.
It's very easy to take those, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, less than a minute, again, they'll be in and out. You probably won't even hear the cutting, you know, and next thing you know, you're gonna turn on your car and all you hear is some weird
Sounds
noise.
like, you know, NASCAR straight piped.
And I actually park now at a storage. I pay like $300-something a month. Because I can't park it at the location at our store.
Right.
I'm afraid that they're gonna steal it again.
Yeah, exactly.
So that shield thing, I
Yeah,
love to get information.
the custom ones they're making them for the vehicles that are the highest target ones.
Like the
Sometimes they
cargo
don't have-
vans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to look up your vehicle and make sure you get the right one.
Yeah, they target those vans a lot too, especially like work trucks, even school buses. I went and took a report and they had stolen, there was a school bus yard. They took like 10 catalytic converters off all these school buses, the smaller short buses that were still gas engines. I mean, yeah, they do also target, you know, cars that look like they're parked there a while, businesses, because you're not there at night, no one's gonna hear it. You know, is there surveillance footage? Maybe, but they're probably in a car that doesn't have plates on it anyway, so. Which
goes back to, if you see something, you know, that looks suspicious, whether it's a car, person, and we don't try to discriminate like, oh, well, that person shouldn't be walking on this street. But if it's something that looks unusual, just call it in. We will come and check it out. Any call for service, we do get dispatched to go check it out. And all it takes is for us to make contact with the person, talk to them. From there, we can, you know, maybe stop a crime from occurring. Or maybe we find out that there's really nothing wrong and it's just someone visiting someone else or someone just parked there for a little bit. No big deal. But again, you see something, say something, and it does stop a lot of things from happening. Yeah, definitely. If you see something, you know, and usually people have a pretty good sense of that. You see some guy driving down the street really slowly at 3 a.m., you don't recognize the car, it's not your neighbor. There might be, you know, obviously that sets off something, something's not right here. And if you see that, you don't have to necessarily see a crime in progress. You can call and say, hey, there's this weird car. You know, I haven't seen him before. He's driving really slowly. Looks like he might be casing the neighborhood, this sort of thing. You can call us and we'll come out and we'll try and, you know, figure out what's going on.
For family activities that are a blast, nothing beats radio control action. Bring in the family and check out the latest RC models from top brands. We've got cars, boats, planes, helis, and more for beginners and experts. You can't beat scorching the track, making waves, or tearing up the skies with cool RC models. It's a great way to bring the family together and start a hobby that will last a lifetime. Stop in today.
Pacific Coast Hobbies on PCH, South Bay's best hobby shop.
if a homeless person is technically not committing a crime and they're just hanging out there, you can't do anything. Huh?
So if someone who is homeless is not committing a crime and all they're doing is walking up and down Lomita Boulevard or Crenshaw, there's only so much that we can do. We can attempt to talk to them, but again, if they're not committing a crime, we can't necessarily grab them and take them away, you know? If we determine that they don't have a mental illness and we do have a criteria, and if they don't meet that criteria for us, we can't take them. We can offer them services, but unfortunately a lot of these people do not want the services. They just want to be free, they want to roam around.
Yeah.
They don't want the rules. And again, that kind of puts us in a hard position because we can't necessarily just take them away. We can advise them to leave, but we can't necessarily kick them out of that place.
Yeah, there's some place right here at the center over here, they just sleep on the floor.
Yeah.
Use it as a bathroom. And,
See, it's unfortunate too because, you know, obviously, you know, you can't urinate in public, but A, we have to see, like personally have to witness that in order to arrest them. And then B, it doesn't ever get filed anyway because the DA only files certain crimes. So if he, lots of times if they see it's a homeless guy, he was just using the bathroom, there's not really going to be any consequences behind it because they, you know, where are they going to use the bathroom, right? But going back to what my partner said is that, yeah, like they could, a lot of them are mentally ill, but they have to meet our, basically in the Welfare and Institutions Code, there's a section 5150, which I'm sure some of you have heard. And it basically says if someone is either gravely disabled, so disabled that they can't take care of themselves, they can't feed themselves, clothe themselves, or if they're a danger to themselves or a danger to others. So if someone is mentally ill, they're schizophrenic, but they're just kind of talking to themselves, they're not really a danger to someone else or a danger to themselves, there's nothing that we can do about it. So it's unfortunate, and you know, and they're mentally ill, so we offer them services. Hey, you should go down to this shelter. No, I don't want to go to the shelter. We can't force them to go to the shelter. So, yes.
What happens if they walk into your place of business? Like, what protection do you have as an owner? You're there and they walk in. It's like, what can you do?
So yeah, if you go into a business, you can trespass them from your business or from your property. So yeah, if they walk into your store, you say, hey, I don't want you to be in here. They say, no, I'm not leaving. Call us or call Torrance PD and say, hey, I want this guy trespassed. I don't want him here. And so with that, then that gives us the authority to remove them from the property. And if they don't leave, then we can arrest them. But what I would recommend too is if you're having a problem with that, especially at night, like when you're not there, you can file what's called a letter of agency with Torrance PD, or if you live in our area with our station. And that basically says that I'm giving the Sheriff's Department or Torrance PD the authority to basically kick people off my property and arrest them if they don't leave. Like when you're not there, like say at 3 in the morning, there's some transient sleeping in your doorway or something. Other questions?
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having us.